Game time on CBS. Let's get you out to the men who'll be calling Missouri and number 7 South Carolina. Vern Lundquist and Gary Danielson. Gentlemen, it's all yours.
Thank you, Tim, and we welcome all of you to Columbia, South Carolina for the Home Depot SEC on CBS. First ever meeting in the SEC between these two schools from Columbia. And we've got a mixture of fans here welcoming Gary Pinkel, now in his 12th year as the head coach at Missouri, and his quarterback, James Franklin, who will be in the starting lineup today. Good afternoon, everybody. Vern Lundquist along with Gary Danielson. Welcome to Columbia. And Missouri's first ever road trip in the SEC. They come in this much anticipated trip favoring the spread offense against a pretty good defense.
Yeah, Vern, I think that's the question here. I mean, this conference is considered a line of scrimmage conference. And Missouri is very effective with their offense. I mean, it's no way to discount what they do. They run the ball, they throw the ball. But the question from a lot of experts, and me included, will this offense work on the road against this physical conference? We will see, because they're going to start what they call the grind of conference games.
And they do have their starting quarterback back, James Franklin. He elected to sit out last week with a shoulder injury, but appears to be healthy.
And I think it's really important that James plays this football game for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think he's going to be really motivated to play this game. He sat out last week, got criticized for not playing in the football game. Even some of his own teammates were talking about how tough his backup was, but I think more important is his style. He's big-sized, his ability to throw and run the ball in the spread. The success in this league, as you remember, when Cam Newton and Tim Tebow made it go, they made it go with physical quarterbacks who could pick up first downs. That'll be the challenge. Can Franklin use those receivers and his ability to run the ball enough to offset that front four for South Carolina?
South Carolina has its own quarterback concern. The starter, Connor Shaw, has had a different kind of an injury, a slight fracture in the scapula in the back of his throwing shoulder, but he's good and healthy to go.
I thought so. I was at practice Thursday. I thought he looked great. He threw the ball great. It's been a little bit of a mystery. He's been a good running quarterback for Steve Spurrier, but he has not brought that passing touch that Spurrier likes. But last 2 weeks, admit it, against inferior talent, they've thrown for 791 yards. We'll see the style today, whether it be Connor Shaw or the backup, but I think Shaw's going to have a big game for them to win.
There is no doubt on either side of the ball who the unquestioned offensive star is. That would be Marcus Lattimore for South Carolina, coming back from a severe knee injury in Game 7 last year.
Well, Bernie's a magnificent football player, and we've seen him at his best when he was able to carry South Carolina. Talked to him Thursday after practice. He said, Garrett, I feel great, but I do not feel like I did prior to the injury. I'm not worried about it, but I don't think I'm all the way back. And that's really the challenge. You better get South Carolina early, because as he gets healthier, it's going to be tougher to beat this team.
Missouri on the road in the SEC. And a roaring Gamecock welcome for them back in Columbia after this. And we welcome you back to the Home Depot SEC on CBS from Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia, South Carolina, a moment ago. The Gamecocks first on the field. They've won 22 of their last 25 home games. And right behind them from the other Columbia, from Missouri, the Tigers 2-1. Their first road game as a member of the SEC. They lost at home to Georgia a couple of weeks ago. It is the Home Depot SEC on CBS featuring Missouri and South Carolina. Last week here against the University of Alabama Birmingham, late in the game, DJ Swearinger, the outstanding defensive back, delivered this blow. It was reviewed by the SEC conference office, and Swearinger was suspended for 1 game. He must sit out this one. His replacement is a freshman, TJ Gurley. And for more on that, let's go down to Tracy Wolfson.
Well, thanks, Vern. TJ Gurley is ready to step in. Thanks largely in part to DJ Swearinger. In high school, Gurley watched videos of Swearinger online and then contacted him via Facebook. The two have been friends ever since. All summer long, they worked out together. They watched film together. And then they also are roommates, and you can bet they spent a lot of time together this week. I spoke with Swearinger right before the game, and he said he told him he just needs to relax, get lined up, and play his game. And Swearinger will be on the sideline today to make sure of that, guys.
All right, Tracy, and the defensive coordinator for South Carolina, Lorenzo Ward, really likes the young freshman.
Yeah, he said he's learning fast. He's thick. He won't make a lot of mistakes. He said I got a lot of confidence in him. Vern, a little quirk here for South Carolina. South Carolina on the kickoff. They're last in college football in kickoff returns. And the reason is they haven't had one yet. 9 kickoffs, 9 touchbacks.
You beat me to it. That's okay. And it's a beautiful day. 88 degrees, quite warm. Wind out of the southwest, 11 miles per hour, mostly sunny. No kickoff returns for South Carolina.
Amazing.
The leader in the country, Memphis, with 17. That's not a category you'd like to lead in. That's not so good. Bruce Ellington is one of the deep men. He is the only deep man, as a matter of fact, and they still have not returned a kickoff. So from the 25, South Carolina will open, and the lineups are presented by Chick-fil-A. Connor Shaw, junior from Florida, took over last year, started the last 6 games, lost 1, replaced Steven Garcia, and he's quite a solid young man.
He really is. He can beat you with his feet and with his arm, and I'm telling you, if he gets it going with his accuracy and throwing game, that'll make that South Carolina offense really tough to stop.
Here's from the spread. Lattimore gets it, tries to go to the right side, does, breaks into the secondary, a little hip wiggle, and he's got a first down all the way out to the 43-yard line.
Well, real interesting call to start that football game. South Carolina replaced their right tackle. Mike Matulis went in there, so they run it right at him on the first play, and it works well. And Lattimore takes it for a first down.
Gain of 20, first down at the 46-yard line. Come this direction now, and this is Demir Bird, who's one of the fastest players on this South Carolina squad, tackled by E.J. Gaines, number 31. The remainder, and they have shifted Matulis from left tackle to right. Really unhappy with the offensive line play last week. Ace Sanders and Moore are the wideouts. Ellington doubles as a basketball player. He's a starting guard for Frank Martin and the South Carolina basketball team, and he is one of the speedsters as well. Second down, 7. Shaw with a play fake, has a little trouble, escapes it, and heads to the right side. Let's introduce you to Missouri's defensive 11 now. Up front, Sam, Sheldon Richardson, the best of the 4. Hoke, Madison. Here's Gooden, Ebner, Will Ebner in the middle. Wilson on the outside, the secondary. Kip Edwards, Webb. Walker had a big game in securing the win over Arizona State with a batted pass in the final 3 minutes and an interception with 30 seconds to go. Shaw back, a lot of time, but downfield coverage forced the near sack. It was Sheldon Richardson, number 34. Gary, I think you sense that he's the best they've got.
He's a great player. Let me tell you, Sheldon Richardson right there at inside tackle playing the 5 technique. He said got a lot of pub, Vern, for his quotes prior to Georgia. But I'll tell you what he should be getting a lot of pub for. How good of a football player he is. He's a former 5-star recruit. He's the second leading tackler on the football team, and he's as good as any defensive tackle in this league.
Tyler Hull is on to punt. Marcus Murphy will return it. Murphy for Missouri in the opening game of the season had 2 punt returns for touchdowns. 172 and the other 70. He's going to let this one go, and it cuts out of bounds. Now we'll see where they spot it. They will spot it at the 14-yard line. 34-yard punt. So after the 20-yard opening run from Lattimore, South Carolina unable to move the chain. Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia. Let's meet the starting lineups for Missouri, presented by Chick-fil-A. And we'll begin with the quarterback out of Corinth, Texas. It's a suburb of Dallas. 9-6 is the starting QB. James Franklin did sit out last week with an injury to the bursa sac in his throwing shoulder. 4 wides, and here's the spread. High snap. It goes to Kendall Lawrence, number 4. One of the only starting running back. Let's take a look up front. It's Britt, true freshman Bame. Mitch Morris is the center. Copeland at right guard, and Miners back in the starting lineup. He missed the first 3 games. Lucas Moe is the real star of the offense in a receiving role, and then you saw Lawrence and the rest at 2nd down and 8. Gary Pinkel in his 12th season. Franklin can do this. He's effective as a runner, and he moves out near the 20. Defensively for South Carolina, and they're only giving up 53 yards per game on the ground. Taylor, Gerardo, Quarles, and Jadeveon Clowney. They've got 2 outstanding defensive ends. Wilson, Bowens, and Holloman are the linebackers. And in the secondary, we've already featured the absence of DJ Swearinger. Gurley takes his place. Hampton, Williams, and Legree are the other 3 starters.
Eldrick Fordham, a defensive end, is right in there at nose tackle. He's going to spy a lot in this football game. Meaning back off and look for quarterback keeps.
They do rush all 3 here. Franklin forced to his right, throws it on the run, and it's caught by T.J. Moe. Out of O'Fallon, Missouri, that's a gain of 13.
And that's really the story of how Missouri moves the football. You got a flag on the field, but illegal formation. Moe is their 3rd down receiver.
It's a 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And the funny thing is, Vern, everybody knows it. Lorenzo Ward, the defensive coordinator, knows it. You still got to stop him.
Well, he comes in with 165 catches. That one negated a 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, and I think it was the offensive tackle that was backed up too far on the line of scrimmage, and that's the reputation of those defensive ends for South Carolina.
5 wides. 4 down for South Carolina. 3rd and 9.
And the thought in this league is this quick corner for these 2 defensive ends is tough on those guys.
Franklin feels the pressure. It was Clowney, and then he gives way to Chaz Sutton, number 90, first sack of the game.
First, you got to handle number 7 and 98, the 2 defensive ends, Clowney and Taylor. Clowney's favorite move is the spin move to the inside, and then the other guys clean it up. Almost exactly the way we were told, right, Bert?
Yes, indeed. Out of the end zone. That's Barrow. The special teams have been dangerous, and Ace Sanders on the run wasn't quite aware of the sideline, and he stepped out of bounds, but it's only a 35-yard punt. Well, we will be talking about these 2 defensive ends and how they help the inside guys all afternoon. Gary Pinkel in his 12th year at Missouri. He's a graduate of Kent State, where he was a teammate of Nick Saban and later an assistant coach under Don James. And his counterpart on the South Carolina side in his 8th year now, Steve Spurrier. 8th season at South Carolina, won his 200th in college circles last week over UAB. Also celebrated the 46th wedding anniversary with his wife, Jerry. And she said to him, Steve, do you always have to start with a run up the middle?
I know. Well, they know just enough, right?
Yeah, and they didn't in this game. They used the sweep with Lattimore, and they're going to play on first, give it off to Lattimore on first down. And a flag. We might have a face mask here. Xavier Gooden, number 25, with the tackle.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about Marcus Lattimore. He was really the horse in this offense. Steve,
face mask on the defense.
As you see the face mask right there. Actually, both guys got the face mask, to be honest, on the play. Steve would use him 40 times in a game. Remember his freshman year against Georgia opening the season? He ran him as a true freshman. I talked to Marcus where he is with his knee compared to before. He said, first of all, I'm 15 pounds lighter than where I was before. I have a lot of confidence. I don't worry about it at all, but I don't believe I'm still vintage Lattimore. I think I'll get better as we go along.
Now they've got a fullback in alongside Lattimore. McLaurin is the fullback. Connor Shaw decides to keep it. Pays a price. Lost yardage. Well, Marcus Lattimore now in his junior year. Last year, the injury occurred in the game 7 against Mississippi State. Compare him, this tape from a year ago, and we'll show you one from this year.
I believe to the naked eye, it's hard to tell it apart. You know, I mean, you really would be splitting hairs to try to see a difference in the two. To me, he looks a little smaller. I don't think he has quite that explosive run through a defender that he had before, but I mean, I'm really splitting hairs here. I mean, this is a great football player, and he's going to get, as the season goes along, I think more confident in that knee.
After the loss, second down. Shaw lobs it out. That's caught by Demir.
Oh, he dropped it on the ground.
Fumble.
Yes, he did.
Indeed, Missouri with the fumble from Demir Bird, the sophomore slot receiver. Ken Ronte Walker recovered. It was Sheldon Richardson who forced the fumble.
Yes, it is. He came off that defensive tackle spot, and Sheldon got his hand right on it. And Demir Bird fumbled it, and it was a safe second down play. You don't expect that to happen, and that defense from Missouri gets the turnover that they needed.
Sheldon Richardson, junior out of St. Louis, earned an instant degree of notoriety when he was stated after watching Georgia's win against Buffalo. I watched that game. I turned it off, too. It's like watching Big Ten football. It is old man football. Well, people picked up on that, and then Georgia pounded Richardson, and they wound up winning the game 41-20. Grown man football, said the winning Georgia Bulldog team. And a note of grace, Sheldon Richardson going over to shake hands with Mark Richt and apologize to him.
One of the goals for for Missouri this year was to earn the respect of the league. Now, believe me, the coaches have respecting the way Richardson plays football. Jumps out on the tape.
5 wides on first down. Franklin, little pressure, almost picked off. Oh boy. Devin Taylor in his own blitz dropped back and lulled Franklin into the throw. Intended for Dorial Green Beckham.
Yeah, you expect those guys to be at every play just coming to the inside, but this time the big 6'8" Devin Taylor, who his coach says one of the best disciplined football players he's had on this defense in a while. Says he plays a little chip on his shoulder too because of what all the pub the other guy gets, clowning.
Marcus Lucas with the catch from Franklin on second down, and Little jawing going on as they get up.
You know, I think there is a little misconception about how Missouri played against Georgia because of the final score.
Right.
I mean, remember, in the fourth quarter, they had the ball 3 different series with 1 score difference in the football game. It got away late for them, but I think they acquitted themselves fine in that football game they could have won. Their problem has been the fourth quarter, not the start of the game. Vern, they've been outscored in the fourth quarter 30-0.
Wow. The injured player for South Carolina is Bryson Williams, number 12, out of Warner Robins, Georgia. Well, if you remember that game, and I know we all do, there's so much excitement about it as you take a look at the overhead for the injury. Missouri was trailing 24-20, and they went for the fake punt, and unsuccessfully so. And then here's the injury. Jarvis Jones for Georgia decided to take that football game over. 3rd down. 8:42 to go, opening quarter. Scoreless. Franklin will keep it and pick up the 1st down, moving the football out near the 28-yard line.
Well, last week it was Bergstresser at quarterback, and in these situations against Arizona State, Missouri converted 10 of 22 times at 3rd down. If they do that today, they've got a great chance to win the football game.
On 1st down, flip it out right side, caught by Kendall Lawrence, and he's tackled by Shaq Wilson, number 54, almost immediately.
Vern, let's talk a little bit about James Franklin. I mean, he's walking out on the field today understanding that for a whole week he was the story. And, you know, I think he's under a little bit of pressure here. He wants to win back his teammates, but usually that works in your favor. You got something to prove.
Kendall Lawrence with the carry.
Yeah, I mean, he heard all the quotes. You know, he heard his teammates even talking about how Corbin Bergstresser was so tough out there, and he had our backs, and he played a good football game. But Franklin, his arm, let's be honest here, his arm was bothering him. He didn't want to take a shot in his arm. I don't blame him. What quarterback does in his throwing arm? He come out today, and I think he's going to be on a mission today to show everybody that he's not only tough, but a very talented quarterback.
Franklin keeps it. He will toss it this time. Incomplete. That was Marcus Lucas. Well, James Franklin took to social media. I want to feel the pain so I know when something is wrong. I don't like taking pills. I don't like getting injected. I never knew not wanting to do those things was such a big deal. Just like many of you, I was raised to say no to drugs.
Yeah, but we all know it's not quite like that. It's the lore of football that you do whatever you can to get out there and play. So it's a discussion point. Now, there's a lot of opinions about this. I think that Franklin and Pinkel handling themselves better than the credit they're being given, to tell you the truth.
Nice deep punt. Ace Sanders inside the 5. And he counterpunches out near the 20-yard line. That was a beautiful 57-yard punt. Scoreless. Under 7 to play. Opening quarter. Well, Gary Pinkel told the sideline reporter just prior to the start of the game last week against Arizona State, James Franklin is not going to play.
Right.
And that caused a little uproar.
It did, but the truth, if you go back and look at it, he was misquoted by the press, and it kind of gained a life of his own. Watch his first play, another run to the quarterback. Going to get a holding penalty, though.
Yeah, it's going to come back. Connor Shaw, this may be for naught. He has no idea the flag is down. The chase is on. And if the play somehow stands, it will be an 80-yard run. However, back at the 21-yard line.
Steve Spurrier never watched the play, Vern. He knew it the whole way. He never watched Connor Shaw score. He just stared at the flag the whole way down. Now, there's a holding penalty that really comes back. And, you know, this offensive line for South Carolina, Boy, I'll tell you, they've got to get better. I just don't see how they can win the Southeastern Conference with the level of play they're getting from the offensive line.
Personal foul. Clipping on the offense. Number 76. Half the distance. First down.
And they do throw a lot. They do throw a lot. I believe it's going to be right tackle Matulis right here. Yes, and he gets Big Sheldon Richardson on the play. They throw low a lot during the game. You see it on tape all the time. Ronald Patrick is trying to get inside. It's a scoop block, and he went and took his legs out.
So this is a run for nothing. And it's going to be 1st and 20 at the 10. And Steve Spurrier.
Yep, that's what he did the whole time he was running right there. Let's go back to Pinkel for 1 second. Let's just close this story. It's been attributed that Gary Pinkel said he wouldn't take a pain-killing shot. He never said anything like that. The question was, did he take a pain-killing shot? And Gary just said he can't play. It's too painful. And I think that was kind of a cheap story about Gary. He answered the questions as best he could. We asked him to be honest, and he was honest.
After the 10-yard penalty, this is Lattimore coming to the left. So an 80-yard touchdown run by the quarterback, Connor Shaw, negated by the clipping call.
That has been an emphasis, by the way, this year in college football, to negate those low cuts from players that are, not directly in front of the offensive lineman.
Gain of 2. 2nd down 8. Kenny Miles has spelled Lattimore now.
Yeah, it is one of the techniques that South Carolina does a lot, is throw on their blocks low.
Shaw will keep it. Just short of the first down.
I mean, that might have been when he wanted to dive.
Yeah.
Because if he dove across that line that time, I think he could have had. Remember, it started at the 20, so he knows where he is on the field. If he dives right there, he might have made it. Color Spill Ebner might have taken his head off, too. Now, Connor Shaw has a minor crack in his scapula, right on his back. It's on his throwing shoulder. Oh, no. Second penalty.
That's Corey Robinson, who's moved into the starting lineup today. They sent him to left tackle and moved Matulis over to right tackle.
Yeah, see, the Missouri team was shifting and yelled out the shift, and that's what the South Carolina coaching staff was pointing out to the officials.
So now 3rd and 5.
Can't yell too much because you don't have the replacement refs. Like the NFL, you can just do anything.
Right. Well, they've made a mess of this possession, that's for sure.
Yeah, I guess.
They being the Gamecocks. Here's Shaw.
Oh, man.
Inside pattern. Demir Bird, he scored from 94 yards out last week. That was off the hand of Dylan Thompson.
You want to watch some big man football? I don't know about old man football, but watch Sheldon Richardson, number 34, get Connor Shaw.
Wow.
Lightning quick. Then he sticks out his hand afterwards and helps him out. He is abusing that offensive line. That is one of the things that South Carolina thought they had to do. And so far, it's been 34. He helps you out. But he blew right by the offensive line before he helped him up.
4:37 to go. A little reverse coming to the near side. This is Bruce Ellington. He's still loose. 5'9", 197, the starting point guard. Spent the summer concentrating on football. Said he really wanted to improve his effort on the football field.
Yeah. By the way, this is just one of many little tricks that are in the old ball coach's arsenal for today's game. They've got them all today.
Yeah, they do. Lattimore. Well, Bruce Ellington, number 23, sophomore out of Moncks Corner, South Carolina. And he's been a 2-year starter now for Frank Martin, the new basketball coach. With the Gamecocks, came over from Kansas State and told our producer Craig Silver this morning that when Ellington comes back, he's going to be the best player on the basketball team this year.
That's not a good sign. I just got to say, I don't know a lot about basketball, but that can't be a good sign.
Shaw. Quade Gilchrist, the fullback, number 43. That's his first catch of the year, and it's a pickup of 10.
Yeah, that might be the guy for Missouri's defense that you might want to let go. He's in that stacked shotgun, trickles out, and Shaw does a nice job. The downfield receiver is not open, and Richardson almost again came back and ripped that ball loose. Now, you know, Vern, it is very hot out here, and it's going to be about 90 degrees towards the end of this game, and Richardson's got a fast motor. We'll see if they can continue this type of effort for the whole game. I think that one's going to be on Missouri.
Do you?
Yeah, I think he went into neutral zone, and I think there's going to be a reaction by Matulis that time.
Shane Ray, number 56.
Before the play, false start. Offense. Number 76.
Let's see what happens.
First down.
I thought there was an encroachment in there. Let's see who moves first. Almost simultaneously, wasn't it? Does the tie go to the offense? Is that what it is? I think it does.
Well, we covered basketball. Let's talk about baseball. 2 penalties from Missouri, 3. The most important, significant of which is the one that wiped out the 80-yard touchdown run of Connor Shaw. And now here we are at 1st and 15 again. Stunts by the Missouri defensive line. Man is wide open. That's Justice Cunningham, number 87, the tight end. 2:18 to go. Scoreless opening quarter. Sheldon Richardson has been a force. Now he'll trot off the field on this second down.
And that's probably the biggest change that I think in Spurrier's design. He goes with more tight ends than he's ever done before. Right. Both Cunningham and Anderson, 87 and 81, will play, and they're both in the game right now.
Shaw back, delivers it nicely, and it's Justice Cunningham again, and that should be enough. It will be enough for the first down.
You can't not go to that play. I mean, they're giving it to you. It's a 6-yard throw. I mean, Cunningham has to be 6 foot 6 inches tall. Easy pitch and catch, and another first down.
Connor Shaw, 5 of 6 for 83 yards now. And a first down at the 25-yard line. Kenny Miles on the field for Lattimore as the running back. Blitz. Shaw. Lobs it out. Beautiful. Cunningham to the 10-yard line. Beautiful play by Connor Shaw.
And it was, speaking of basketball, a basketball kind of push shot. I think he threw this one left-handed. Comes upfield, gets inside the pass rush, gets tackled to watch it. It is a left-handed little push pass to his big tight end again for another first down. And, of course, that's what Spurrier loves about Connor Shaw. You saw it as a true freshman. He put him in the games. He's a playmaker. You know, I mean, you can't say enough good things about Connor Shaw when you talk to Steve Spurrier.
First down and goal. No score in the ball game. This is Lattimore, who seemed to trip as he started toward the right guard slot. Take a look at the Verizon red zone stats. Carolina 8 touchdowns in 12 possessions so far this year.
Well, I get the pleasure, Vern, of going to a lot of practices, and I can promise you no one practices more of this little red zone 10-yard passing attack than a Spurrier team. I mean, the first 30 minutes of practice are practicing these throws right here.
And they've got everybody spread wide now. Shaw. He's got Cunningham yet again.
He's going to be short, I think.
Yeah, down at the 1. So it'll be third down and goal.
I think that Missouri may have to adjust.
Yes.
I think they may have to adjust. This is just getting to be a little too easy. The middle linebacker that time, Ebner, was way into the end zone playing that Tampa 2 look, and he just gave it an easy throw inside.
Well, now they've got to make a 99-yard march to the opposite end of the field here at Williams-Brice Stadium.
And remember, they already scored once on this drive.
That's right. That's the end of the first quarter. No score yet because that score was negated. We'll return to Williams-Brice Stadium after this message and a word from your local station.
It's all about tailgating, flag waving, drink shaking, face making, hell raising, celebrating, trash talking, no mistaking. South Lovers special, ritual kind of passion. All day, it's the way Saturday in the South.
And we welcome you back to Williams-Brice Stadium. 80,000 on hand here in Columbia, South Carolina. We begin the second quarter. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, and Tracy Wolfson. Marcus Lattimore in the backfield, currently tied with George Rogers and Harold Green. Number of rushing touchdowns, career 31. He broke a tie with those two gentlemen for number of career touchdowns overall last week. He now has 34. And here is the give.
Nope.
No, it's keep.
Yep.
And he did not get in. It's fourth down.
I tell you, Will Ebner has seen this play a million times, both at practice and in the Big 12. Very interesting call. They went right at what Missouri's good at. They see this kind of spread zone read forever and ever. Talking to Steve yesterday, he actually said, I think defenses are getting more used to this play, and he called it. Boy, Steve's going to go for it.
Fourth down. Shaw. Lattimore gets the block, and he does not get in. How about that? Well, they'll talk about that drive for a few months.
Yeah, and you know, Missouri's fans right now are going, I thought this league had grown man football. Okay, but South Carolina tried to finesse it, and Will Ebner, their middle linebacker, was one guy who made the play, but there were more than him around that play.
Coney Ely, number 47, was also there.
How about that? They tried to finesse. You know what was a break, I think, for Vern for Missouri? The change of time with the clock. They got a rest because there was a lot of plays out there before the end of the quarter.
13 plays, 78 yards, no score. And that doesn't even account for the 80-yard run wiped out. Well, we're back in Columbia, South Carolina. A goal line stand by Missouri and a drive that South Carolina fans are going to be talking about late in the night.
Yeah, they score on an 80-yard play, but remember, because of penalties, it ended up being about a 15-play drive. But the end of the quarter gave time for Missouri to kind of regroup, freshen up, get their key players on the thing, and then Steve decided to finesse them. And I don't know if they missed a block or missed assignments, but on two straight plays, they kind of ran plays that Missouri's used to seeing. You know, they didn't try to overpower him. You could tell Steve does not have faith in his offensive line. Doesn't believe he can block them up front.
Third and goal and fourth and goal, and Missouri stopped both. And now out of the end zone, Franklin keeps it. Oh boy, that could be close.
No,
I think he got across the line. He got out.
Yep, he did.
Yeah.
And here's the problem again. You know, I mean, and this is what people will tell you about this conference is, what do you do when you have to run the ball? Okay, and a lot of people, I'm one of the proponents. I think it's easier to be able to go from two tight ends and spread it out to throw than it is to be in a spread and come back into two tight ends and run.
And that last play is under review. Ben Oldham is the replay official today. And the question now is, did Franklin get across and out of the end zone? It appeared to us that he did. Yeah. Ball's out.
Yep.
Kelsey Quarles, number 99.
Exactly who it was. Kelsey took on as a man and then stunted around the nose tackle. I don't think it was designed. I just think he saw the football, kind of ran away from the block that time by Mitch Morris, the center, and ended up making the play. And Vern, you alluded to it as we listen to the call here.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Second down.
You know, with Clowney and Taylor being so effective from the outside, it's those inside guys that make all the plays.
Yes.
And Missouri takes a very wide split. I don't know how wide they'll be right here in their own end zone, but the reason they take those wide splits is because they want to help their tackles with the quick corner to the quarterback coming in right around the edge.
Second down, 11.
And we'll see how confident they are in throwing the football, because I think they're going to need to throw the football to get off their own goal line.
Franklin scoots out near the 5-yard line.
Talked about their splits and what they like to do. This is how they line up. You see the big space between the center and the right guard, and the reason is they want this guy and this guy as far away from the quarterback as possible as they come off the edge. But it opens up the middle. And if you go against a 4-man line, those defensive tackles have to make plays.
That was in the Georgia game 2 weeks ago. Now the splits are very narrow now.
Here's the go-to guy, T.J. Moe.
Third down, 7 from the 5. That one appeared to be tipped, but it's caught instead by Marcus Murphy, and he's driven back.
Seemed to me as a bit of a give-up throw. Barely looked downfield, looked like he was going to the back the whole way, didn't want to go downfield. Did Taylor get his hand on it? Well, he had to lob it. And one of the reasons that the secondary was able to come up and make the play is because he had to kind of loop it over the defensive end, Devin Taylor.
So from deep in the end zone now, Trey Barrow is the punter. Had a 34-yarder last time out. This one much better. It chases Ace Sanders. And now he runs into his own man. Breaks into the secondary. Still fighting. Sanders in the foot race for the corner. Brilliant run.
Looked like he ran into his own guy on the play, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Catches it, gets started upfield. I think it was Demario Jeffrey that he ran into, number 33, but you could see the Missouri defender tried to go for the rip. And when it was James Franklin, number 1, that tried to rip the ball free, that's what allowed Sanders to get the extra yardage and get down to the 4-yard line. Now, those plays are great when they work, but when you don't wrap up and make the play, you end up giving up a lot of yards.
Now, Jared McGriff Culver, number 38 from Missouri, did save the touchdown. A 45-yard punt and 49 on the return for Ace Sanders. And it was Demario Jeffrey, number 33, right there.
Yes. And of course it wasn't James Franklin. It was Kip Edwards, the other number 1. I'm sorry, just kind of reacted there. But Kip Edwards, a corner, actually went for the football and didn't go for the tackle.
Lattimore drives toward the goal line. And he stopped a couple of yards short. Well, last time they were inside the 5, they had a 3rd and goal and a 4th and goal, stopped both times. Let's see what they got here on 2nd and goal. They'll try Lattimore again. Touchdown, South Carolina. And Marcus Lattimore is now the career leader in rushing touchdowns scored for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, I don't know It maybe Marcus Lattimore, maybe it was the offensive line, or if it was just Steve saying, maybe I outthought myself. And when you get down there and you got a running back like this, you got to give him the football.
Adam Yates is on to try the extra point. Strickland, the third-string quarterback, is the holder. Yates knocks it through. And the touchdown sent up by the punt return of Ace Sanders. He was averaging 15 yards per return coming into the game. And look at the effort on this. Kip Edwards missed that one. Downfield block, and Sanders racing for the corner. He set up the TD. Marcus Lattimore got it. We'll return to the Home Depot SEC after this word from your local station. We're back in Columbia to get the latest news, analysis, and predictions from Tony Barnhart, Bruce Feldman, and other CBS sports experts. Watch College Football 360 live weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern or on demand at cbssports.com/College Football 360. TJ Moe, number 28, in the end zone, awaiting the kickoff of Adam Yates. 7-0. After Ace Sanders' 49-yard punt return set up the touchdown run of Marcus Lattimore. Here's Yates. This one returnable. Moe has it after 3, far sideline, and bumped down as he gets near the 24-yard line. And now it's time to take a look at our Home Depot tools for success. South Carolina defense.
You know, we talk about it when you have a plan, and we said that TJ Moe is their third down receiver. Sometimes you can plan it and prep it, but you get too cute. Why didn't they just go to their third down receiver right there? When I said if they'd have looked downfield, they'd have had it. This is a guy that caught 92 passes from Blaine Gabbert. He's a third down guy. Go to him. Don't try to outsmart yourself.
Missouri has now gone to its third tailback, Russell Hansbrough, number 32. He goes right, the pass comes left, and it's incomplete, intended for Bud Sasser, number 21.
I can tell you right now, Gary Pinkel, in his mind, is wondering what he's doing at quarterback right now. Okay? He's had a quarterback that he hadn't had to change for 10 years. 3 straight quarterbacks never got hurt. He loses one. I don't know. I'm telling you, Franklin's going to have to gain his confidence here. And right now, you could see with that kind of sigh, 1 first down, he's thinking, what do I do to get my team started?
Here's the handoff. Fumble! Recovered.
No,
it's still loose.
Yep.
Dorial Green Beckham had a shot at it for Missouri, but I think South Carolina came up with it. So a freshman running back fumbled it. A freshman wide receiver couldn't cover it. And South Carolina takes over. Devin Taylor, number 98.
And this is shades of how the game got away from them against Georgia. It happened in the 4th quarter against Georgia. But Dorial Green right there had a chance to make the play. Dorial Green Beckham, excuse me, had a chance to save him. Falls on the ball, and the oblong guy just moves out of the way. How do you miss that one? Now, this is where Steve goes for the juggler.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, he's got a lot of tools to go for the juggler here. Stuff that I've never even seen before. Any guy that has 9 putters in his office has some trick plays. I just guarantee you that.
Including the belly putter, right?
Yep.
Here's Connor Shaw. Deep. Right side. Man wide open. Nick Jones, number 10. With only his 3rd catch of the year. So what did you just say? He's going for it, huh?
And it wasn't really that tricky, but I'll tell you, the inside slot guy really held the coverage and allowed the outside player, Nick Jones, to go down the sideline, and Connor Shaw made a brilliant read. And he actually beat E.J. Gaines, their best corner, but it's because he had no safety help.
First down goal. Ellington, wing to the left side. If you've got Lattimore, why not run Lattimore?
Yep. Missouri's met the enemy again, and it's been them so far. Can't start drives in plus territory. It's the third of the game, I believe, that they started in the plus territory. First time down there, they finessed it. These last two times, give it to your guy and challenge your offensive line to find a hole for your best player.
Adam Yates is on for the extra point try. And just like that, it's 14-zip. Lattimore with 2 touchdowns in 54 seconds.
When you've got a player like that, but you know what I think is the most important for Steve right now? His offensive line may be gaining some confidence, and he needs them in this conference to win the East.
Welcome back to Columbia, where 2 quick scores have given South Carolina a 2-touchdown lead. The most recent, Gary said they're going to go for the jugular.
Yep, and they did. It was very simple. It's 4 seams right here to the outside. The safety is who Connor Shaw wants to read. E.J. Gaines right here thinks he has help. Watch how the inside slot receiver gets deep fast, draws the safety on the hash. That's an easy play. When you're trying to play half-field safeties and you got one of your safeties on the hash, it's just too easy of a throw for Shaw to go to the outside.
He found Nick Jones for the game down to the 1. And Lattimore's second touchdown. We do have some empty seats on the far side of the upper deck. The game was listed as a sellout, 80,000 plus the capacity here. Adam Yates will kick off again. This time it's Marcus Murphy deep. It was T.J. Moe a moment ago. Here's Murphy at the goal line. Nice. Well, he couldn't quite secure him, but almost. Now let's go back to the studio for a John Hancock update. Here's Tim Brando.
Vern, Gary, 22 unanswered points for Georgia Tech. Tevin Washington's going to take this one in from 10 yards out. They were down 19-0, and now 3 touchdowns in less than 8 minutes. They went for 2 afterwards, got it, and they now lead the Canes 22-19. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Tim. It's 14-0 here. And James Franklin continues at quarterback from Missouri. Hansborough, the freshman running back, fumbled. Look at the plays in opponent's territory, 19-0. Low snap. Lawrence manages to get across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Kendall Lawrence. And they'll go no huddle. Quick snap. Kendall Lawrence goes right, and he's got the first down as he gets across the 30 out near the 33. Jared Shaw, number 28, on defensively to make the tackle.
South Carolina calls this an Indy offense, full speed, and they have to turn all of the play calling over to Shaq Wilson, number 54, on the field.
Quinn Smith chases Franklin on this play. That the previous play, just the second first down from Missouri in the ballgame. 8 first downs to 2 thus far.
And if you talk to the coaches, they will always keep 2 linebackers in the box. They will never give Missouri a look that it says run. They're going to force them to look at the throw with numbers.
4 down for South Carolina on this play. Franklin with the option and a misfire and further difficulties. Oh, boy.
Kendall Lawrence that time, it's an easy play. You're going to try to run the option off the end line of scrimmage. Actually, could have been pressured a little bit more by Franklin. He pitched a little early because the end had a stunt inside.
3rd down 10, 5 wide. Empty backfield, and this time 3 down for South Carolina.
All defensive ends in the game. No tackles.
One of 5 different defenses Lorenzo Ward told us they would use against empty backfields. Franklin in and through the hands of the receiver, LaDamian Washington. It will be 4th down.
Show you what the game plan is for South Carolina when they do this thing. They'll line up Fordham, number 57, on the center right there, and on the snap they'll bring other players, and he will run out as a spy in case James Franklin or somebody else takes off and run. It's a ball maybe a half a foot lower, could have been caught, but can't give Washington a drop ball on that one. Not a good enough throw.
Trey Barrow to punt. Ace Sanders is back, and this one chases him all the way back to the 10-yard line. Gets loose left side. Hauled down. Boy, he was about to motor 90 yards. As it is, a 27-yard return of a 55-yard punt.
Well, Alshon Jeffrey was kind of the go-to receiver a year ago, drafted with the Chicago Bears, and everybody said, how are you going to replace Alshon Jeffrey? Well, it might be Ace Sanders. Now, he's not 6'5", he's not 6'2", he's about 5'9", but he's a playmaker, and plays don't count. As you look at Mo, a little blood dripping down.
All right, Tim, 14-0 here with 8:02 to go in the first half of play. South Carolina hosting Missouri, the Tigers' first road trip in the SEC. This is only the 3rd time these two teams have ever met. They met in bowl games in '79 and 2005, and Missouri won both of those. First down 10. Lattimore, left side. Andrew Wilson, number 48, made the tackle. Where will President Obama and Governor Romney be tomorrow? They'll both be on a special 60 Minutes tomorrow only. CBS.
Interesting, the Missouri defense, when you look at it schematically, as Justice Cunningham's coming off the field, even though they play the spread on offense, they play a kind of a normal defense. It's a 4-3. They keep 3 linebackers on the field almost all the time. You would think the spread of South Carolina would want to attack those linebackers in the passing game.
That's Lattimore out of the wing position. And let's check in with Tracy Wilson for more on Marcus Lattimore.
Well, guys, Lattimore went through a 9-month rehab process for that knee that he said brought on a range of emotions, from pain to frustration. He said there were times he just wanted to give up, but he leaned on others who had similar injuries. Roman Harper of the Saints, and University of Pittsburgh's running back Ray Graham, who hurt his knee just 11 days after Lattimore. And Lattimore said all the players he spoke with said the same thing. The mental part is the hardest thing to get over, guys.
All right, Tracy, thank you.
Key stop here for Missouri. Remember, they get the ball back here with 6 minutes to go, and they get the ball in the second half. They could crawl back in the game.
On 3rd down and 8. This is Lattimore, and he is short of the first down. Tackle made by Randy Ponder, number 7, the nickelback, backup cornerback for the Tigers of Missouri.
And you know, it does look bleak. You haven't been, you get no plays in plus territory so far in the game if you're Missouri. But it's 14-0, and now you get the ball with 6 minutes to go. If you score here and get the ball to start the second half, you can climb into the football game. This is their chance right here.
And again, Marcus Murphy has 2 touchdowns returned, 2 punt returns for touchdowns in this season. Tyler Hull punts it away. Murphy. That will come back to the 20-yard line.
First and 10 from the 20 for Missouri.
6:02, and Missouri needs to find a spark. Something. Missouri on the road in the SEC. The only time, as a matter of fact, they have ever defeated a top 10 team on the road. You got to go back to 1981. They won against Mississippi State, then ranked number 9. Pepper Rogers, who was the analyst on that game, is here. Good friend of Steve Spurrier's. Lawrence with the carry.
One of the things that Gary Pinkel told us in our conversation with him about this offense, he said the way it's designed, our quarterback has to play at a high level for it to be successful. I don't think James Franklin is playing at a high level so far in this football game. And by the way, they've had some high-level quarterback play in Missouri in the last few years.
Well, with Franklin missing last week, it was the first time since 2001.
Beautiful.
That was a good play.
Yes, it was.
T.J. Moe. 2001, quarterbacks had never missed a start once they were named starters over an 11-year period.
We'll say this about Franklin. You don't rattle him. He's about as calm as you can get back there. If he gets into his throwing motion and gets some success, he could be a good one in this game.
Kendall Lawrence looks for blocking help, gets it, but he was caught from behind as he started to go to his right.
Yeah, if Devontae Holloman doesn't make the play, that could be a score by Lawrence. And look how fast they line up. Might not even get this replay in. They'll snap the ball again. Watch number 21, last guy to make a play, made the play.
Missouri now with 61 rushing yards against a defensive South Carolina team that is 6th in the country, yielding only 53. Franklin to the 35. Kensey Quarles, number 99, with the stop.
Against the spread, Lorenzo Ward, the defensive coordinator, said a lot of people get too simple against it. Play one defense. We have 5 different defenses against their spread.
Lawrence, a couple.
Gary, Jadavian Clowney with the Gamecocks to tackle.
Tell you, Jadavian Clowney was the #1 recruit as a defensive end a year ago. He plays a freshman. Bottom of the screen right here. Watch his quickness. Stop and then go. Look at that. He outruns a running back almost. And I'm telling you guys, when you see him in person, he's like Julius Peppers or Mario Williams. Huge and very, very fast.
Brad McNulty is in at center now for Missouri. It's 3rd down. Franklin keeps it, tucks it, got a first down. Boy, was he popped as he gets the first down by Reginald Bowens, number 47.
You make runs like that, any questions from your teammates about your toughness will be erased. I don't know if they were, but they won't be after that run. Got to give him credit. Put his head down and got the first down, and they needed it badly.
By far the most impressive Missouri drive of the ball game. This time the handoff goes to Marcus Murphy, number 6, and not much there. Second down 10. I'm looking for Mitch Morse. Looks like he's moved out to right tackle. Nope. Miners is still at right tackle, but McNulty is now the center in the offensive line.
That's been a disaster with injuries, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So far, there's been mix and match, and nobody's playing in their projected spot when the season started.
Franklin play fake. Got it. Beautiful. Lucas still surging.
Marcus Lucas, a rangy 6'4", 6'5" guy, gets one-on-one. You got 6 guys in the box. You must go after the secondary. Perfect throw inside, play action pass, and Marcus Lucas does not go down.
First down goal. That's a gain of 22. And look at Franklin take the hit. Wow.
Yeah, coming off the edge that time. I'm quite sure who it was. But I know it's
Sutton,
over here.
believe,
Was it? Defensive end Chaz Sutton coming in for a break. Nobody blocks him. They're trying to finesse him with the speed sweep, and he just runs down the play.
Sutton had a sack earlier. And now second down and goal. Under 2 to go before the halftime break. Missouri's got to get something out of this drive. Lawrence, stutter step. It'll be 3rd down and goal.
And again, the alignment by South Carolina is we're daring you to throw. If there's six guys, 5 offensive linemen and a running back, South Carolina will put 6. If there's a quarterback and a running back, they'll put 7 in the box. They're saying throw it.
I see the graphic. South Carolina yet to allow a touchdown inside the red zone this year. They do call timeout now. Back in Columbia, South Carolina, impressive drive by Missouri, but the last stop impressive for South Carolina.
Let me just show you the strategy here, right here. Inside the box here, there's 7 players for Missouri and 7 players for South Carolina. Everybody else in the field is one-on-one. No safety in the middle of the field. They're forcing Missouri to say, if you're going to run it, you're not going to trick us, you're not going to outnumber us, you're going to have to block us. Or you can throw to the outside. We're going to give you one-on-one coverage.
It was J.T. Surratt with the first contact, number 97. And now,
what do you do?
Go.
Yeah, I think you got to get Franklin out on the edge and let him run or throw option. Look for T.J. Moe. He's in the slot right there.
Franklin off his back foot into the hedges.
Yeah, too hard. Moe had a nice matchup inside again. Just think they're outthinking themselves.
It was intended for Dorial Green Beckham, #1 recruit in the country last year out of Springfield, Missouri.
Look at this nice matchup with your best receiver, one-on-one. Got somebody really nervous, a lot of space on both sides. Pump that ball in there. You don't need that throwback there. That's too hard.
And so Missouri will try to get something out of this. Andrew Baggett is only 3 of 7 for the year. This has been a weak point for the Tigers, their special teams play. T.J. Moe will hold. He's doing this for the first time in his career. It's a good one, and the kick is as well. So they do get something out of the most impressive drive they put together this afternoon. And as we near halftime, it's now 14-3 South Carolina. Monday, don't miss a Two Broke Girls season premiere, Shocker, at its new time, Monday at 9, 8 Central, only CBS. And coming up at halftime, we'll head back to our New York studios with Tim Spencer and Tony Barnhart. The Geico halftime report, scores and highlights from around the country on week 4 of the college season. Sometimes you just don't need to say a word.
No, not going either.
Nope. Prudent. And the kick.
Oh,
Bruce Ellington.
They got a chance.
This is the first kickoff return of the year for South Carolina, and you might as well make it memorable.
They go from last to first place in one kickoff. Do they or not? Now everybody's thinking about halftime and getting into halftime 14-3. And Ellington says, hold on to your seats here. We got a lot of time left, a lot of timeouts left, and a lot of plays in the quiver of Steve Spurrier.
So first down and 10. South Carolina has 2 timeouts remaining. And they operate from midfield with 1:11 to go. Connor Shaw, play fake. Dumps it across the line, caught by Lattimore.
That was
a good option.
Great play by Lattimore because Connor threw him a changeup. Lattimore thought it was going to be pumped into him real fast, and it kind of came as a soft toss. And Lattimore had to hang with it, regain his balance, and make the first down after the little screen pass.
Connor McLaurin is in as the fullback now. They give it off to Lattimore, which is always a good option. Sheldon Richardson, number 34, made the stop.
We watched the 2-minute drill on Thursday, and they scored. They scored against their own team.
Time called. South Carolina has 1 remaining.
Well, first 2 plays of the series. First one, a little fake handoff. And see a little touch pass. Watch Lattimore adjust to the ball, off balance. Oh, boy, pro scouts will love that. Not only is he a tough inside runner, adjust to the ball and make it. And then the shotgun. Look at this formation. Fullback and tailback aligned over the guard. Remember this formation because they got something else off of this. Okay.
All right. Well, Marcus Lattimore, 52 yards rushing. He's got 18 receiving, 2 touchdowns, a total of 70 yards. What a factor here in the first half. Connor Shaw, in the meantime, has hit his last 12 passes in succession. Make it 13. And make it Lattimore again.
Get up to the line of scrimmage. Get up to the line of scrimmage. Clock will stop. Even if you want to spike the ball, if you don't have anything, it would be a good way to re-huddle. Or if you got one with 35 seconds, let it go. Play call.
And the clock starts. 31 seconds to go. Oh, he's got a man open.
Oh,
yes!
man.
Touchdown, Ace Sanders.
It's a nice way to finish a string of completions, isn't it? And you don't have to be 6'5" to replace a guy who's 6'5", do you, Vern?
5'9", Ace Sanders. What a presence he's had.
And he beat him right on the line of scrimmage. At the snap, he was open. And he beat Missouri's best defensive back. Boy, Connor Shaw, remember I said he threw the ball great in practice? That's how he threw it in practice. What, 13, 14 in a row, did you say?
Yeah, 14 now. Adam Yates with the extra point try. Up and good. They do score quickly.
Yeah, well, it was the kickoff return, remember, that got him in position. But here's the matchup. Missouri's got their best DB, all Big 12, E.J. Gaines, against Ace Sanders. Watch him, beat him right there, he's done. Easy throw. As soon as he got on top, he stacked him, he went over, cut him off, and all it had to be was a perfect pass, and it was a perfect pass.
"50 seconds it took them to score after the 50-yard kickoff return. Ace Sanders got the touchdown. And now a look from our Avis action cam.
Well, the offensive line did a good job. Missouri came with an extra rusher, actually 2 extra rushers. They picked up the blitz, but as soon as Connor Shaw caught the ball, he knew he had a one-on-one, and he knew that E.J. Gaines was beat. Kind of a tough back-to-back plays for Gaines. The play before, Lattimore ran him over on the pass, and the next one, they ran behind him for the touchdown. How do you say welcome to the SEC?
Yeah, no kidding. They worked so hard, did Missouri, to get something on the board before halftime.
Exactly. And then the kickoff return, remember, they hadn't had one all year was the difference. If they start on the 25, they probably don't have that touchdown.
Marcus Murphy bobbles the kickoff and takes a knee, so it'll come out to the 25. 24 seconds to go. Now look at the scoring drives. 12 by the first team offense. 12. The average number of plays 6, and the average time. Gotcha.
Yeah, but that's also a bad stat, because if you look at their scoring, their touchdown drives, it's against Georgia was 3 plays, 3 plays. Against Arizona State, it was 4 plays, 4 plays, 6 plays. They can't score slow. That's their problem.
Franklin. 20 seconds to go. Will they use the timeout? I would think so. Aldrich Fordham, number 57, made the stop.
You know, in this league,
they don't.
You got to be able to give your defense a rest. You got to be able to hold the ball. All of these great athletes, even for the good guys, are hard to stop. Holding the ball, they're easier to stop.
"21 points by the Gamecocks in the second quarter. And Missouri managed only 3 in their first road trip in the SEC. Tracy's with Missouri coach Gary Pinkel.
Coach, obviously not the way you wanted to go in, giving up those 7 points. What happened on that play?
Well, first of all, our kicking game is really, they're doing an excellent job, and we're doing an awful job, and they're getting a lot of good field position out of that. And they're just playing a lot better than we are, and you got to give them credit.
Your offense has really struggled in this first half, though. Is it Franklin's shoulder? Is it nerves, or is it just their defense?
No, I think, first of all, you give them credit, but we certainly, I think, can play better.
Could we see Corbin Bergstresser in the second half?
I don't intend to right now.
Thanks a lot.
That's the end of the first half with our score 21-3. Now let's go to Tim Brando in our New York studio.
Ace breaks a tackle. Another. Got a blocker. Inside the 20. Marcus again. Bouncing left. Diving. Touchdown Carolina.
Here's the handoff. A fumble.
He will not be denied. He will not be denied.
Oh, he's got a man open.
Oh,
yes.
man.
Touchdown. Halftime in Columbia, South Carolina, where the Gamecocks lead the Tigers of Missouri 21-3. And moments ago, Tracy Wolfson with the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier.
Coach, in that first quarter, you failed to convert on that 4th and 1, but instead of backing down, it seemed like that was a wake-up call for your team.
Well, we've had a couple of nice returns. Punt return, kickoff return sort of set us up for a couple of scores. Our defense playing very well. Yeah, we had some screw-ups offensively early, but we just got to keep on playing.
You told me you wanted to see Marcus Lattimore get some more runs and see how he is physically. Is this exactly what you were looking for?
Yeah, I think he's doing fine. But we need to keep throwing the ball and running. Keep mixing it up.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
And we are back live now, getting ready for the third quarter kickoff and return. Missouri will get the ball to start the second half. Down 21-3. They clawed the length of the field to get a 22-yard field goal, 14-3, and then Ace Sanders, or rather Bruce Ellington, with a big kickoff return to set up the touchdown right before halftime. Marcus Murphy is the deep man to return now for Missouri. Good kick. Through the end zone, it'll come out to the 25-yard line. And so Missouri does get the ball, and they got a little bit of a spark with that drive to a field goal.
Yeah, their last drive was pretty good. I think they got to go in halftime and say, come on, we can't keep doing this. We're getting killed in the kicking game. But when we do our stuff correctly, we can move the ball. Now, forget about James Franklin's toughness to take a hit. He has to get tougher throwing the ball in the zones. Stick it in there, go downfield, make some tough throws, because they're not going to give you these easy throws all game.
Well, let's see what he has in mind, or Gary Pinkel has in mind, from the spread at the 25 to open the third quarter. First road game for Missouri as a new member of the SEC. And that's Kendall Lawrence, number 4.
And Shaq Wilson, number 54, meeting him right in the hole. And boy, Coach couldn't stop raving about Shaq Wilson, could he?
No.
I mean, he said he reads the plays, he calls all our defenses. I trust him immensely with everything he does out there. He directs everybody around, and he's a great football player.
Lawrence with 9 carries for 57 yards.
There's Clowney.
Jadeveon Clowney. He is some special talent.
Yeah, they've moved Evan Bime, I think, number 77. No, that's not. It's still Justin Britt, number 68. Matchup, watch the arm over, beats him on the short corner. Again, let's go back to what coaches in this league believe. They believe you have to help the tackles with tight ends, fullbacks, and H-backs to chip block those studs coming off the edge.
And here comes Missouri with an empty backfield again. This time 4 down for South Carolina, their defensive coordinator, Lorenzo Ward. Franklin avoids the first contact, but he will come up short of the first down. So 3 and out.
Yep, and that front 4 that was supposed to make the difference, showing that the wide splits used by Missouri to keep these guys coming around makes it easier for the guys inside to beat their guys on an island, and that's what happened, and flushed Franklin out of the pocket. No way he had enough room to make that first down. A 3 and out to start the quarter, and no matter what, I think Pinkel told Tracy he's got to be thinking, do I need to make a change?
Big edge for South Carolina in the kicking game so far today Here's one of the men who has provided it. Oh,
spun himself to the ground.
Yeah, he did.
And you know, and to be honest, Vern, I think Gary Pinkel might have found the toughest thing about the SEC, handling Tracy Wolfson at halftime. Like, coaches all know that. The toughest part of this league, Tracy's questions at halftime.
The Wolf.
He survived it. Got a few bruises.
Yeah, he did. Tracy the Tenacious.
Yes.
And now Connor Shaw, 14 of 15. He missed his first pass of the ball game. Hasn't missed anything since. And here's Lattimore, caught. Rare catch by Kenronte Walker, number 30. Halftime trends, Gare.
Well, you know, last time we were here, Garcia hit 17 of 20 when they beat Alabama. Connor Shaw is showing that he has the ability to do that in a big game. Lattimore receiving, rushing. They're not riding him. I'm glad of that. They're not giving him 40 times. There's the difference. Sanders in the kicking game, able to make those plays.
Second down, 11. Shaw. Nice run around the right side.
Yeah, Andrew Wilson was kind of froze on the play. Came up on Connor Shaw, and he just kind of froze him in there and got it to a position where it's 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 8 and a chance to make the first down. Remember, we speculated whether Sheldon Richardson would grow a little tired. It does appear like he has. He's not flying around the field. He's not in there right now, but he's not flying around like he was early in the game.
Tigers have 3 down, 3rd down 6.
Oh, he may be standing up. Is that him standing up? Yes, that is. Right there. He's standing up and giving a different angle. Comes from the outside.
Now cuts inside. Shaw out of the backfield has Lattimore, and Lattimore has room. Out of bounds with a hefty gain. Gamecocks are carving up Missouri.
Yeah, Lattimore in the backfield. I think he was the man they were going to go to all along. Yes, it was a pick inside. One receiver picking off Lattimore's player, and no chance for the defense to make the play. Randy Ponder had picked from the slot back and had no way he can catch up to Lattimore.
That's a gain of 24. Kenny Miles now replaces Lattimore. A flag for illegal procedure.
For the snap, false start. Offense, number 1. It's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, Ace Sanders having a terrible game.
Yeah, he is.
Get him out of there. Jeez.
Right. Oh, my goodness. Lattimore for the day now, 51 yards and 51 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Getting a rest. First down, 15. 21-3. South Carolina off an 11-2 season last year. They won their last 7 in a row. Down the left sideline. This is Kenny Miles out of the backfield, number 31.
Just a little swing pass to the outside. Miles a little speedier. And if you see the outside, really how you design it, the tight end takes a nice outside release, and then Miles goes right behind him. It's almost a pick play to the outside, and anybody that's watched Spurrier do it, he loves to do it. How many in a row?
Connor Shaw now has 16 in a row.
Wow.
We're diving into the record book to see what the school record will be. Right side, Kenny Miles. And that's Will Ebner, number 32. Ebner, number 32. Injury-plagued career. Fought through it. Great athletic tradition in the family, and he is a warrior. One of 36 players on this Missouri team from the state of Texas. 21 of them listed on the depth chart. So that's a recruiting goldmine for Missouri. Has been for a long, long time. Sweep left. Kenny Miles. Well, we talked about, is that ball loose?
And Miles did not go down easy.
No,
did he?
no.
I don't know if it was stolen.
Well, I don't know
if it was
stripped or not.
I think Missouri believes they have the ball.
Yes. Kip Edwards, number 1. Let's take another look here.
Well, remember, Kip Edwards went for the ball early in the game, and it cost his team. But this time, no, he's the recipient, is he? A late hit by Andrew Wilson, and Edwards falls on it. And, you know, for Missouri, Wilson is one of those guys that produces turnovers. I mean, in the last 4 games, he's produced 5 fumbles. He just did another one.
(21-3) South Carolina, but they just coughed it up. Missouri with a fumble recovery. These teams have met twice before. 79 Hall of Fame Bowl. George Rogers helped State Carolina to a lead before Phil Bradley led the Tigers to a come-from-behind 24-14 win. They also met in the 2005 Independence Bowl. The Gamecocks jumped out to a 21-0 lead in that one before a key interception turned the tide in Missouri's favor. Brad Smith's 1-yard touchdown run with 2:13 left in the game capped the comeback as the Tigers won 28-21. 21-3 here, that turnover, and Gary Pinkel's team given an opportunity to try and climb back in this.
Save the game, basically. I think touchdown there is pretty much game over. Now they got a chance to climb back in. Still lots and lots of time in this game.
9:34 to go, 1st and 10, Tigers. Franklin. TJ Moe laterally dropped it. Kendall Lawrence has to go back and fall on it. A variation of the old hook and...
Yep, hook and ladder, right?
Yep.
Set up nicely. You got your good ball handler, Moe, to the outside. Have a lot of confidence in TJ. High school quarterback, pitches it out. It's perfect.
Had the block.
Block out front. Not going to gain 50 yards, but you're going to have a nice first down play. Now it's 2nd and long. Second time, number 4, he's dropped a pitch.
Yes. Kendall Lawrence with the fumble. That's Moe in motion. Franklin, nice quick fire. John McGaffey, number 3. Tackle is made by Quinn Smith, number 24. Third and 9. Moe in the slot to the right.
Let's see if they can handle these 2 guys to the outside. Goes Devin Taylor and Jadavian Clowney. It's a tough matchup.
3rd and 9. 4 down for the Gamecock defense. They might bring the blitz. Let's see. Nope. Back out.
Spins inside,
spin
didn't
move.
he? There it is.
That's his favorite move. Aldrich Fordham is probably going to be given credit for the sack.
See, and here it is again. I mean, I know you're going to beat this into the ground, but I don't know if they can handle him. Justin Britt, I don't know if anybody can handle him all game. He's a, 6'7" man out there. He's a tough matchup for an NFL tackle with no help. Look at that move. And he's a man. Vern, you can't believe how big he is. I mean, he's Julius Peppers big. That's how big he is. He runs his wind sprints with the backs.
Right. Here's Trey Barrow's punt. Ace Sanders is back. Here we go again. This time he is forced out of bounds.
Ace Sanders on the return.
At the Missouri bench. 45-yard punt, 11 on the return. But Ace Sanders has had a pretty productive day. There's Jadavian Clowney, number 1 recruit in the country 2 years ago. The best players are staying home. They're going to South Carolina. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Nissan, Aflac, AT&T, and by Bud Light. Don't forget, later in the game, the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. Well, we mentioned that Jadavian Clowney had elected to stay home. He's from Rock Hill, not far from Columbia. Take a look at these last 4 Mr. Footballs. Stephon Gilmore, Marcus Lattimore, Clowney, and Shaq Rowland. And that's been part of the success for South Carolina. All these kids used to leave the state and go elsewhere.
And that's really what Steve brought to the table. His reputation got I think, the athletes in this state to listen and believe that he could do this here like he did at Florida, and can't argue with what he's doing. I mean,
well, this is the 4th South Carolina drive that has started in Missouri territory today. 4 times. They're up 21-3. Connor Shaw has hit 16, now make it 17 in a row as he finds Lattimore for a gain of 8. Now let's go to the studio for this Heisman Watch presented by Nissan. Here's Tim Brando.
Vern Geno Smith completed 30 of 43 for 338 and 3 touchdowns, all to Tavon Austin. Mountaineers held off Maryland today. Tonight, Colin Klein and K-State open their Big 12 slate with a major matchup against Landry Jones in Oklahoma. E.J. Manuel will try to keep Florida State unbeaten against Clemson and Tallahassee. Back to you.
All right, Connor Shaw here has now hit 17 of 18 passes, including 17 in a row. See if he wants to throw on 2nd and 2. Nope, he'll hand it off. And it goes to Kenny Miles. Connor Shaw, 17 of 18. So we tried to check and see what the school record for consecutive passes was. And we were just told that South Carolina doesn't keep that record. I bet they will now.
Starting today.
Yeah.
This is the new record. And, you know, he may have set a record, though, for the first quarterback in the history of college to hit 17 in a row and go to a highlight of another game. I think that is a record, by the way.
Indeed. One thing about Spurrier is he controls his emotions. He keeps them inside. That's why we all love him. Now we're back in Columbia, South Carolina with a team from Columbia, Missouri here. We've got a little chat about commodities. This is the Battle of the Silvers. Neil Silver, the official statistician in our graphics truck, is a proud graduate of South Carolina. Craig Silver, our producer in the truck, a proud graduate of Missouri. So far, bragging rights in the graphics truck. Connor Shaw has hit 17 in a row, and he will run this one and skip out of bounds. He also had an 80-yard touchdown run back in the first quarter, negated by a clipping penalty.
But you know what I like what he's doing in this game is he's not thinking one receiver scramble. He's going 1, 2, 3 scramble and picking up extra yards. And that's what he has to do. He has to be able, Steve has the confidence that I'll give you pass plays if I know you'll get me out of a bad play, but we'll go to the good play when it's there.
Lattimore goes left, maybe a yard. Steve Spurrier now in his 8th year. Of course, he was a coach of Tampa in the USFL for a while, then the coach at Duke for 3 years. Brought the fun and gun and such a great reputation as the head coach of Florida. Went for a couple of years, dismal years in his view, as the head coach of the Washington Redskins. Sat out a season and then accepted the job to come back here to college football in South Carolina. Right side, Lattimore. And it's, you know, we all love having him in college football for any number of reasons.
And it's one of the fun things to go to a Spurrier game is to watch Steve react to the calls in real time. You know, a lot of time, Vern will ask me what happened there, and I go, I don't know. I was watching Steve. Because he, you know, he just acts as his own offensive coordinator, tells him to hurry up. He's on the near sideline. That's why you're looking, in our cameras this side, so you're shooting over his shoulder. He's actually calling the plays.
3rd down 8.
Lattimore. He's audible, and quarterback looking at the play clock. He'll even take the timeout if they need it.
And here's the draw play.
Call.
Yep. Connor Shaw, no, I don't think he got it. Randy Ponder, number 7 for the Tigers.
Interesting decision for Steve right now. 4th and short. 3-man line. Pretty easy call here. Got the center, T.J. Johnson, out in front of him. Shaw went head first.
And Spurrier has elected to go for the first down. Lattimore, first down, plus.
Great read by Lattimore that time. A lot of running backs on 4th and short will just put their head down and try to get the first down. Lattimore, patient, looked at the blocking, felt it, and cut behind it. Watch Lattimore feel it, and cut behind the play. Quick snap right in the middle of that one.
Shaw has it and is dropped as he gets near the 15, perhaps inside, by Sheldon Richardson, number 34.
I tell you, that Will Ebner, number 32, is a joy to watch play football.
Mentioned he has been handicapped
in his career, right?
All through his career with injuries. Granted, the 5th year. Will Ebner from Friendswood, Texas.
He plays whistle to whistle for 60 minutes.
2nd and 10. Keep it on the ground. Lattimore.
There he is again.
Ebner.
Yep. But the clock keeps ticking. The Missouri offense, and they knew it. Gary Pinkel knew you can't have 130 yards almost through 3 quarters of play and expect to win a football game. The punting woes, the kicking woes, the heat. I mean, it's kind of been the story of spread teams against SEC teams. Oregon did it. You know, everybody, they come out of the game going, we made too many mistakes, but they don't have anything to hang their hat on when they need a tough first down.
This is for 19 in a row. He's got it. How about that? And the catch is made for the touchdown by Rory Anderson, the backup tight end. Connor Shaw has now hit 19 consecutive passes.
Yeah, and it's a brilliant drive by Spurrier. Remember, last time it was a fumble that stopped the drive. This time, you're going to see Rory come right across the side. Connor Shaw has one tight end to the outside and the other one trailing. The first guy's covered. He goes to the second guy. Justice Cunningham was covered. Rory Anderson wasn't.
Adam Yates for the extra point. Well, what a spectacular day Connor Shaw is having.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, in the last 2 games, South Carolina has thrown for nearly 800 yards. They're out here throwing again today. They've thrown for 234 already. If they're able to do that, they're going to be a threat in the East.
Heart of Columbia, the state capital of the state of South Carolina, and about 2 miles away. This is not an on-campus site, is Williams-Brice Stadium. Seats 80,000, surrounded by parking lots. And how about the last touchdown?
Interestingly, Reed right here is on the safety web. Remember when those safeties stayed in the middle on the wide pass out here? This time the safety expands, so you go 1, 2 behind him. So you check out, you know, see where the safety goes. Does anybody follow your first guy? Yes. Now the safety's in your eyeballs. Get to the soft spot, throw it right there. When you get beat wide once, you're hesitant not to get wide the next time. Perfect call.
Well, Connor Shaw with 19 straight. We can't tell you if it's a school record because they don't keep that statistic.
Starting today.
We can tell you it's a darn good average. 19 of 20. He missed his first pass of the day. Marcus Murphy is back to receive the kickoff, hopefully for Missouri to return it. Here's the boot. Ooh, that might go out of bounds. It did, yep. That's the first bad thing that's happened in the kicking game today for South Carolina.
Kick out of bounds on the kicking team. By rule, the ball be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
So the 35, and Steve Spurrier sees a coaching opportunity. It's time now for Red Lobster's Scholar Athlete. It goes to Bruce Ellington with a GPA of 3.02. 2011 all-freshman basketball player. Red Lobster's commitment to the investment of our future is shown today by donating $1,000 to the University of South Carolina's General Scholarship Fund. Final 2:17 of the 3rd quarter. Franklin got him. That one's to Marcus Lucas, number 85.
Just a note on Bruce Ellington. His cousin, Andre, plays a wide receiver for Clemson. met his aunt this morning. She said, I got a good day today. I get to watch South Carolina and Clemson back-to-back games.
Right. Hansbrough, who had a bad fumble in the first half of play. Well, let's introduce you to the CBS poll question. Which of these teams is most likely to finish the season in the top 10? Florida State, Notre Dame, Texas, Florida, or UCLA? Log on to Facebook.com/SEC on CBS to make your voice heard.
You know, we don't know at the end, but one thing that's nice is we watch this, we get beat them at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Overthrow. One thing that's nice, at least they're not out of contention starting in October like they've been in the past. When you have those names, the big heavyweights of college football still alive, that's good for college football.
Of course, at the end of every South Carolina season, at the end of every Clemson season, the two teams face off, and there's a big game in college football tonight as Clemson in the ACC goes into Tallahassee to take on E.J. Manuel and Florida State. That will be fun. Third and 9. Franklin.
And they're going to have to go for it here on 4th down, too.
Gary Pinkel, head coach at Toledo for 10 years after he...
Oh, wow. He's going to punt it or fake punt it.
Is he really? Ah.
I'm surprised. I have to admit, I would be going for this.
Yeah, 4th and 4. He did try the fake punt against Georgia, but the score was so much closer then. It was 24-20, not a 25-point deficit in the final minute of the third quarter.
I would just keep my offense on there and go for it.
Trey Barrow, number 97, with the punt. Sanders will let it bounce, and it'll come out to the 20-yard line.
Yep, but you know, these games are long sometimes. Who knows? Maybe they can climb back into it another way. Got a couple plays that I thought really told the story of this football game in the first half. Remember coming out from their own. It was a 3rd and about 8 yards. T.J. Moe in the slot. Franklin never looked at him. Wide open. Went the easy throw to the outside. Ended up punting, and it cost him the field position. Here it is, the big play on the goal line. Moe matched up. Got a one-on-one throw against a backup corner in the game. Looks the other way. I think in that situation, you got to go to your money guys.
Marcus Lattimore and Connor Shaw still on the field. Shaw with a brilliant day so far. Lattimore has been very effective as well. This time he runs into Will Ebner, number 32. 9 tackles now for Ebner. Didn't play in 11, had a concussion and a high ankle sprain, both.
Hey, it's surgery. He ended up having surgery. Well, Missouri has been outscored 30-0 in the 4th quarter so far. Better not happen today against 2 major teams, Arizona State and Georgia.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. South Carolina 28, the Tigers of Missouri 3. We'll return to Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia right after this word from your local station. We welcome you back to Williams-Brice Stadium, Columbia, South Carolina. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, Tracy Wolfson along on the first SEC encounter on the road for Missouri. Look at this. The single game record for consecutive pass completions, 23. T. Martin in 1998 against South Carolina. That may be why South Carolina doesn't keep that record. Just saying. Connor Shaw has hit 19 in a row. And the Gamecocks have a 2nd down 11 at the 19-yard line. He'll run it.
And
oh, boy.
Smarley gets down.
Well, what has most impressed you about the effort today?
Connor Shaw, I think, because he's been able to manage his throws. I mean, you know, a lot of these have been easy throws. Missouri, you can say what you want, but when Steve Spurrier gets your number, and has been out of those 17, 18, 19 throws, half of them have just been gimme throws.
Right.
Basically, dump-offs. So I think if you're going to have to move up on the receivers and force those receivers from South Carolina to beat somebody, just can't give them gimmies.
Here's the draw play again. Shaw
nice play.
has gone to this several times. Steve Spurrier has it for us.
I think Brad Madison got him from behind that time, didn't he? Number 57?
I believe so. Shaw set out the East Carolina game. That was a victory here. Dylan Thompson looked terrific as the backup quarterback, and then re-injured that hairline fracture of the scapula on his right shoulder. And a rare fourth down coming up now.
Right. And Gary Pinkel kind of rolled the dice that he could get a 3-and-out, and he did.
Yeah.
He had South Carolina made a couple first downs. It's over, but he did it.
Marcus Murphy is the deep man, has to run up for the punt and takes the fair catch just short of the 40-yard line. Young man is out of Flowery Branch, Florida, not that far outside of Atlanta. He's found a home in Columbia, hasn't he?
And now it's time for our Geico game recap.
No scoring in the first quarter here in Columbia. Then Marcus Lattimore got the first touchdown of the game. That gave the Gamecocks a 7-0 edge. And he scored quickly thereafter. A 1-yard touchdown rush, 14-0. Lengthy drive just before halftime. And a 22-yard field goal put Missouri on the board. But here come the Gamecocks right back. Ace Sanders open, catches the pass from Connor Shaw. And then Shaw just a moment ago, his 19th consecutive completion. That's for a touchdown. And South Carolina leads it over Missouri 28-3. James Franklin has gone the distance at quarterback for the Tigers. Dumps it off in the flat to Kendrell Lawrence. And it's time now to introduce the Duck and see what's on his mind. It's the Aflac trivia question of the game. Who are the all-time winningest coaches at each school? Injured player on the far side, Kelsey Quarles, the defensive tackle, number 99. There's Quarles, and oh boy, looks like he might have taken a helmet hit from a teammate. DeMario Jeffrey apparently was the player who made contact with Quarles. Time call. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Napa, Chick-fil-A, Chrysler, and by Verizon. Williams-Brice Stadium, Columbia, South Carolina. The Gamecocks in control of this one, 28-3. And a reminder that the Jeep postgame show will be coming up after conclusion of our telecast. We'll go back to New York with Tim Spencer and Tony Barnhart for an update on scores and highlights on week 4 of the college football season. And we've got a new member in our audience up in Charlotte. Alexandra Massey.
Look at this.
Look at this. 8 pounds, 5 ounces, and she is
the odds of this?
Gary and Christy's grandchild, born this morning. Congratulations.
And close. What are the odds of having a game this close? I'm driving right over there.
Yeah, you are. You're leading the charge out of here. I don't
pick them up till they're at least a year old. Don't trust it.
Number 13?
Yeah, well, I've got 12 kids. What can I say? Whoa, another nice throw right there.
Yeah.
That's been their most effective play, right? I mean, they've hit about 3 or 4 of those. And just that time it was Jimmy Hunt coming in, slant, little fake, getting inside. And I think from now on, it's 4-down territory for Missouri the rest of the football game.
That was Jimmy Hunt who caught the last one, and that one's overthrown, intended for John McGaffey, number 3.
Second down.
When you look at Missouri offense, it is a catch and quick throw offense. there's really not an offense in this league that when we talked to Lorenzo Ward, the defensive coordinator, he said was anything close to what they do.
Second down 10.
Even when Cam and Tebow were running the spread, it wasn't this style of spread.
Well, we'll talk about it after this play. Hand off right side. And what is the difference?
Well, there was some power with Tebow, and with Cam, they were able to pick up first downs with their quarterback. This is a much quicker passing game. No tight ends at all in the football game. It's 5 offensive linemen and wide receivers and running backs. It's not that they can't run the ball. I don't mean that. Okay, they can run the ball, but they have to do it with more finesse.
Third down and 4 in 4-down territory. You see only 2 of 10 today.
Even as much as Arkansas throws, they do it with the tight end. They don't do it with the stop.
4 wides with the back in, and the back gets the handoff and comes right. It's Kendrell Lawrence, number 4, the tackle made by Quinn Smith, number 24. Entering today, look at this.
Yeah, you can see that they're great balance. They gain a lot of yards, but on 4th down here, will they go under center? They
yes,
do.
They
drop
and
the
follow
snap.
the snap. And I don't think he got enough.
See there?
Oof.
I mean, they didn't even have a tight end in the game.
No.
They had 5 offensive linemen and 7 defenders. They dropped the snap. Quick corners from the outside. My goodness.
Well, it is ruled short of the first down. Didn't even measure. Ball goes over on downs, and time has been called. Early 4th quarter here in Columbia, and time to cue the Duck getting back on stage. There we go. And answer the Aflac trivia question. The all-time winningest coaches at each school. On your left for the Missouri Tigers, Don Farrow with 101 wins. South Carolina's Rex Enright, 64. And look at the list. Farrow, then Dan Devine, Gary Pinkel.
Yep.
Only 14 back, Warren Powers. And Rex Enright with Steve Spurrier about to become 7 back, Jim Carlin. And Paul Dietzel, who coached at Army, coached here, coached at LSU. And Coach Spurrier telling us yesterday that Dietzel was here last week. He's now 88 years of age and was celebrating his 68th wedding anniversary. Marcus Lattimore has it going right.
Now, one of the question marks I had in this game was, would the South Carolina offensive line show up? Because in tape, they've been having a rough couple of games. Well, there's been no need to, basically. There's been enough finesse in the passing game, easy throws, that their offensive line has done well enough, but their quarterback is so hot, 19 for 20. No need.
Here's Lattimore coming left, blockers in front, and he surges out. Well, we've talked about Will Ebner in the middle for the Missouri defense. How about a little more from Tracy Wolfson? Tracy?
Well, Vern, let's go outside the huddle. The 5th-year senior has a double major and is minoring in real estate. And it's amazing he still has time for football. This year, he's spent more time in the weight room, strengthening his core and glutes in hopes of keeping him healthy after dealing with injuries the last 3 years. And Ebner has football in his blood, guys. His grandfather, Jeff Adams, played with Y.A. Tittle at LSU. And you can imagine how happy he was when he found out Missouri was joining the SEC.
Indeed. There's the handoff for the first down. And that's Lattimore again. Lattimore, real factor today. But he's kind of taken a back seat to...
Well, yeah, but everybody knows he's there.
Yeah.
And he always will be there. And every defender, the defensive coordinator goes up there, plays against them, is going to say, remember, they got Lattimore, and we're going to have to stop Lattimore first.
First down, 10.
You know, when you put those numbers up that Steve Spurrier has done at South Carolina, it is amazing. We talked about those 4 great recruits, #1 from South Carolina. Steve has put together 8 straight top 25 recruiting classes. 8 straight. When you go out there and watch this team, there's more talent out there now than when we first came here to watch Steve take his South Carolina unit around.
Lattimore going right last play and tackled or led by T.J. Johnson.
And remember, you know, Steve has adjusted. He's taken his fun and gun, and he's into 2 tight ends now. It's a line of scrimmage league.
This is for 20 in a row. He's got it. 20 completions in a row for Connor Shaw.
Do you think he knows it, by the way? Do you think he knows?
I don't.
You know, because like a free throws, you start to pull the string a little bit. You know, right? Because I thought he aimed this one a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, nice catch.
It looks a little bit like the Affleck duck, didn't it?
Yep. Nice catch by
very
Bird.
nice catch by Demir Bird.
I wonder if he knows I got 20, because, you know, it's... You always can feel it. They get tighter. And Steve has done something else. I mean, you know, back-to-back years he beat the Big Three. But the Big Three are coming up here next month, aren't they?
Oh, they are. Here's the handoff left side. Well, Connor Shaw having just a splendid day. His mom and dad among the crowd here in the stands. His dad with the headphones on and the slight beard. On the left, that's his father, Lee, and his mother, Dawn, sitting facing the sun, watching their son.
You got to get on the other side.
Yeah. I think they'd have enough clout to get over here,
exactly.
don't you?
20 in a row gets you in the shade.
Yeah, that's right. 20 in a row. 2nd down 8. Lattimore, just a modest game. Well, one of the stories coming into this game was the suspension of safety DJ Swearinger. He was suspended because of that play, and the play was reviewed by Steve Shaw, coordinator of officials, and they ruled him out for 1 game. Gary, I know you had a chance to talk to Steve Shaw.
Well, there's 2 parts of this story, okay? They are trying to protect the defenseless player, and I'm all for that. And I think that play deserved that type of system and that call. However, little fine points about this. Number 1, it sets the bar in this conference. From now on, every hit like that will be a suspension. And number 2 is, it isn't Steve Shaw that makes the decision. It's by rule the commissioner himself that makes the decision. And that's the part of the rule I think that needs to be changed. We don't need our commissioners making decisions like that. That should be put to someone like Shaw. They should be organizing who does it. I think the commissioners of all the conferences, by the way, that are making the decisions should be out of that system.
Well, that's it for Connor Shaw for the day. We wish we could tell you that he has a school record of 20 consecutive passes.
Well, we're calling it. Yep.
Okay, you think it is? I think we're safe. Dylan Thompson, who engineered the win over East Carolina University, looked terrific in that game and then came on in the second half of last week's game against UAB. And here's Kenny Miles going to the right side. And Connor Shaw, what a day he's had.
Yep. That's shave the head, get a kiss from the old line coach. I'll tell you that right now. Last play. I think he's been smart running the ball, too, today. He hasn't taken a lot of hits. He's keeping himself alive, and that's a day to remember. And, you know, when I said the Big Three, I mean South Carolina's Big Three. That's Tennessee, that's Georgia, and that's Florida. And that's who they're going to face up here. And Shaw is going to have to play to this level to beat those guys.
Here's Thompson. Incomplete. Shaq Rowland, the intended receiver. Well, let's take a look at this South Carolina schedule.
You can basically divide it into thirds, okay? The first third is over with the Missouri game. Oh, Kentucky game, excuse me. And then October starts, and look at October. Georgia, LSU, Florida, Tennessee, then they get their bye week and they finish with Arkansas, Wofford, and at Clemson. But it's 3/3. The first part, perfect. Now they enter the meat of the schedule.
That's behind Kenny Miles, but he reaches back to make the grab. 5:22 to go. And E.J. Gaines, number 31, made the stop. And a field goal forthcoming. Adam Yates, only 1 of 2 for the year, the senior from Sparks, Maryland. Seth Strickland will hold it. This will be 38 yards to pad the lead. Perfect. 4:45 to go in this one. (31-3) with 4:45 to go. Yeah, some days are better than others, but the last part of last year and the first part of this year really flying for Steve Spurrier. 31-3 here. Let's go back to the studio for this John Hancock update. Here's Tim Brando.
Another quarterback, Vern, in the SEC that I think a lot of people believe should get Heisman consideration is A.J. McCarron. He's thrown for 214 and 3 touchdowns. This one before the end of the half to Christian Jones. 30-0 at the break. Number 1, Alabama over Florida Atlantic. Back to you.
All right, Tim, I really expected a lot more out of Florida.
Oh, come on. If we were doing the game, I'd expect 34.
Oh. Alabama consecutive shutouts in the last 2, trying to go for 3 in a row. I like their chances. 31-3, 4:45 to go. Marcus Murphy back to receive the kickoff. Well, this has been a very convincing effort by South Carolina.
And Missouri had their chance again, just like they did against Georgia. You know, they had the ball down inside the 5 at the end of the half there. They were going to get the ball back to start the third quarter, and they did not get points, a touchdown. They needed a touchdown, and then the bad kickoff, right?
Yes. That one through the end zone will come out to the 25. Well, Notre Dame has a chance to go 4-0 tonight. Florida State has the same chance. And here are the poll results. Which team most likely to finish? A lot of you like Florida State.
And Florida.
Yeah. 34%. Yes. How about that? Florida had that huge win to open the year at A&M.
That really changed things for Florida and allowed Jeff Driscoll to emerge. And they're going to get better also. And Muschamp has sold to his team as we see a new quarterback. We're going to get in Corbin Bergstresser right now.
Bergstresser played the entire game last week in the win over Arizona State University. And that pass is complete to Marcus Lucas, number 85. Franklin threw for the day.
Yeah, he never, how do I say this, kind of asserted himself, you know, where he just forced that ball into some spots, whether it's play call. You know, I'm not blaming it, Jay. I mean, it could be the coach telling him who to throw, but that position needs to assert himself more in this offense. Kind of an offense I watched when I was doing Big Ten football with Drew Brees. Drew ran an offense like this, and Drew used to throw the ball in between 4 guys. Sometimes you got to. You have to make tough throws.
Franklin for the day, 11 of 18, 92 yards. He also carried it 15 times, but only for a total of 6 yards.
And I don't think we've seen anything from their number 1 recruit, Dorial Green Beckham. Have we? One time he was going to fall on that fumble. That's the only time we've even noticed his name throughout the whole game.
Absolutely. He's in the slot right now. Bergstresser will throw and completes it out on the left side to the 41-yard line. That's Marcus Lucas again, number 85. Second down 5.
Well, those two we always talk about the mismatches on the field. And for South Carolina, you talk about all you want about Lattimore and everything, but the mismatches are their two defensive ends, Devin Taylor and Jadeveon Clowney. When you play South Carolina, you better have a plan to stop those two guys.
This is Jimmy Hunt, number 88. That's going to be a Missouri first down. He's finally brought down by Quinn Smith, number 24.
I guarantee you, LSU and Alabama, if and when they play this team, I guess, will put 2, sometimes 3 guys on one hitting them, a tight end chipping them, and a fullback to run through.
Well, we showed you that South Carolina schedule, and of course one of their big road trips is out to Baton Rouge.
Yep.
They will take on LSU.
And LSU's got 2 defensive ends just like these guys.
That's right. Another pass completion, Bergstresser. That is Dorial Green Beckham, number 15. That's his first catch of the day. And the clock running.
Well, he was a big-time recruit, #1 recruit and wide receiver in the country. Big get for Gary Pinkel. They've had, 4 All-American receivers, 2 at wide receiver and 2 tight ends. So easy to recruit those type of guys.
Hand off right side. This is Landy Hansbrough. And he's out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Well, Jadeveon Clowney from Rock Hill nearby. There's one of his plays.
Yep, and then he comes from the outside to make a play, and then he also has the inside move. And every tackle in the league now will have to deal with that. You know what else seems to me in this football game? It's been a very cleanly played game. The referees have barely been noticeable in the football game. What we got? 6 penalties total. We had that one huge one, obviously, on the clip on the 80-yard touchdown, but now that didn't amount to anything either.
Exactly. Bergstresser, total of 6 penalties in the ball game. We're under the 2-minute mark now, as South Carolina will go to 4-0 for the year, win their 8th in a row going back to last season. That one takes off and winds up in the hedges. Intended for Green Beckham.
How about when you do a little reading on Corbin Bergstresser, how different things are in the world maybe 15, 10 years ago in recruiting. Bergstresser committed to Missouri before his first game of his junior year in high school. Wow.
Offer him early.
Yep.
Second down 10. Right side. And that's complete. Marcus Lucas, number 85. Well, the last time they've been held without a touchdown goes all the way back to October 7 years ago with a loss at Kansas.
And I really thought if they could have won this football game, they would have gained belief and confidence. They've got Alabama coming to their place. It could have been one of those primetime night games. Catch Alabama, a hot quarterback. Maybe it would happen. But now, who knows?
Bergstresser keeps it and gets inside the 5. That's going to bring up Reginald Bowens, number 47, with the tackle. And we're under a minute to play, 31-3. And it's 4th down. So this could be the last play, or they might pick up the first down.
Yeah. And, anytime you get shut out, well, not shut out, but no touchdowns, every quarterback worries about his job. And Bergstresser's probably thinking, maybe I can get a job here.
High snap. Brought down. And that's going to be 1st and goal as Marcus Murphy, number 6. And the clock will stop now with 30 seconds remaining as they relocate the chain.
Good job by Corbin catching that ball, basically, on that one.
1st and goal. Fires it, caught, touchdown, Lucas.
And Lucas, remember earlier he beat inside with a quick slant, did the same thing again. Top of the screen, he's going to come into the picture right now, wide open.
Now here late in the game, Lucas has had a big part of what's going on. There's Franklin and Bergstresser chatting.
I actually didn't catch who was even on the field as a defensive back. It had to be a backup, wasn't it?
Actually, Victor Hampton, number 27.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he did have the starters in there.
Yeah. Andrew Baggett cuts it inside the right upright. And with 17 seconds to go, they get the touchdown on the board. Next week, our group moves into Athens, Georgia. Always a fun place to travel. Tennessee at number 5, Georgia, next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern Time. And it all begins with college football today, the Autotrader.com studio show next Saturday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. That young man was a tight end at Billings High School in Billings, Montana. He walked on. Max Copeland walked on, and he is quite the quotable young man.
Really?
Yeah. Well, take a knee. Tonight on CBS begins with CSI and Criminal Minds, followed by 48 Hours Mystery. Tonight only CBS. This one's about to enter the books with 13 seconds to go. And Steve Spurrier out. Steve had right knee replacement surgery back in January.
You guys were matching scars, weren't you?
I had mine in my left knee in May, and so yeah, one of the highlights of the conversation for us.
Yes.
Not so much for you and Tracy.
No, not yet. But
we were matching scars yesterday.
You know, with the month of October coming up in Georgia and LSU and Florida and Tennessee, let's see if South Carolina can take care of business, focus in, and go to Kentucky and win that football game first. I don't want to sell that because that has been a little bit of the MO for South Carolina before.
4-0 start for Steve Spurrier and the South Carolina Gamecocks, and Missouri's first road trip in the SEC leads to a defeat, and a rather convincing one at that. Now let's take a look at the player of the game presented by Russell Athletic. Gaudy numbers for Connor Shaw, 20 of 21, including 20 in a row, 2 touchdowns. He also rushed for 41 yards, and he is with Tracy Wolfson.
That's right, Connor. I have to ask you first, did you know you had 20 straight completions there?
I didn't know until that took me out the end. I had a lot of help around me, though.
Yeah, it seemed like you were just in a rhythm, though, feeling it. Was that the case?
It was. I think it was first drive I had incompletion, and I think our team just got on a roll, and I felt good out there. It was frustration the last 2 weeks coming off an injury, but I've had a lot of support and a bounce back this week.
How are you feeling physically?
I feel good. I'm going to be sore tomorrow, but overall, I felt good during the game.
You talked about the help around you, and how good is it to see Lattimore and what he was able to do today?
Yeah, obviously, he's a key performer on our offense, and it's great to have him beside me. He's gonna give all he has every game. So it's pretty great having him beside me.
Thanks so much. Congratulations. Vern?
All right, Tracy, thank you. Final score 31-10. And now it's time for the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. And with the call, here is Todd Ellis of the South Carolina Radio Broadcast Network.
Good snap, low. This is returnable. Ace backs up into his own territory. Take the 46. One cut, another. Straight up the middle, runs into his own man. Avoids him. Inside the 40. Ace breaks a tackle. Another. Got a blocker. Inside the 20. Ace running inside the 10. And knocked out of bounds. Oh, my. Ace lights it up.
Todd Ellis, who was an outstanding quarterback back in the 80s here in South Carolina. Steve Spurrier, pretty good quarterback at Florida, Heisman Trophy winner. And Steve Spurrier, Connor Shaw, Marcus Lattimore, those 2 huge defensive ends. South Carolina wins it convincingly 31-10 to go to 4-0. For Tracy Wolfson, Gary Danielson, I'm Vern Lundquist, our entire crew. So long from Columbia, South Carolina.